So by the end of this video, I'm going to be showing you, or I'm going to be telling you the best app to use for ride sharing if you live in Nigeria, precisely Abuja. Okay, now I'm going to be doing that by striking a comparison between all the major players when it comes to the e-hailing industry in Nigeria. Now in Nigeria presently, we have majorly, we have Uber, we have Bolt, we have Indrive, and then we have Rida. There are a couple of other ones, but well, they're still upcoming, not really in the market yet as strongly anyway. Okay, so without further ado, let's get started. I'm going to be striking this comparison based on certain head notes. These head notes I had used in one of the previous videos where I struck a difference between Uber and Bolt. Now I'm going to be using the same head notes to try and strike a difference between all four of this ride sharing platform to try and understand which one has the best in terms of earnings, the best in terms of experience, the best in terms of performances. At the end, I think you can be able to make a very informed decision, but I'm going to also be giving you an input. Okay, so let's get started. First of all, let's look at simplicity. In the Uber app, when you talk about simplicity, basically speaking about how easy it is to understand how the app works. And I don't think the Uber app is so easy to understand. Like, I'm not saying it's difficult to understand. If a person is not into tech or, understand technology, like an older person, for instance, who is not very versatile, they would always need help trying to understand certain things. So the Uber app is not that straightforward. It's not that easy to understand. Now for Bolt, it's not also too easy, but I'll still consider Bolt a little more easier, a little more simpler to understand as compared to Uber. The Rida app is not an easy app to understand. There are certain features, certain designs that makes it a tad complicated. Even myself, it took me a while to kind of grasp certain things about the app and understand how it works and what to expect and things like that. Yeah. In terms of simplicity, I think I want to give it to Indrive. The Indrive app is pretty straightforward, The registration is so easy, so simple. And once you just get logged in, you just get started, okay? There is not too much background features. So in terms of simplicity, I think Indrive will take this one. The next, we'll talk about loyalty reward. What we mean when we say loyalty reward, we're talking about certain apps or certain e-hailing platforms reward you for being a consistent driver. If you've driven or stayed with them for a certain number of years or completed certain number of trips, they tend to reward you for that. Yeah? Now, understand this. Loyalty reward is different from when there is a campaign, for instance, to win a car or to win a movie ticket or to win something or some cash prize or the other. That's different. Loyalty reward simply means that the longer you stay with us, there is a reward that is attached, and this reward is not just occasional. It's just there because you have stayed with us this long. Now, talking about Uber, I think Uber has one of the best loyalty reward. Under the Uber Pro, there is a blue, I don't know if to call it stage. Okay, I'll call it reward. There is a blue reward, there is gold. I think the next is diamond, then platinum. So all of this reward, I think the highest reward allows you as a driver to get priority pickups at the airport. Now, I think that's a very, very interesting one. In terms of, like, if you've driven with us for such period of time, elongated period of time, obviously, whenever you get to the airport, you don't have to queue up like every other driver. As soon as you come in, if you are one of our diamond drivers, if there is a pickup at the airport, you get priority. So I believe that's by far one of the best kind of loyalty reward you could get. That, of course, if you drive to the airport, you can understand how a bit difficult and complicated it can be going to the airport and almost never having a trip that brings you back into the city. Talking about Bolt doesn't have anything like that. You could have driven with them for 10 years, 5 years. I don't think they recognize you and perhaps afford you some benefit for doing this, right? It doesn't matter. The same thing with Rida. They don't recognize you, even if you've driven for 10 years. It doesn't matter. Same thing with Indrive. They don't recognize you. It doesn't matter how long you've driven with them. Remember, this is different from campaign and bonuses. Okay, the next is cancellation charge. By cancellation charge, what I mean is some e-hailing platform or ride-sharing platforms, whenever there is a booking, you as a driver, you drive to the location and then the meter starts to read, like to indicate that you've arrived, or you by yourself clicked on the arrive now button to say I'm already here, and then the passenger has been notified. In the Uber app, after, I think it's a 10-minute wait period, after 10 minutes it starts to count, and then it allows you, the driver, to cancel that trip and charge the driver a very, very minimal amount as a cancellation charge. What that means is, I waited for you, you didn't come within a specific period of time. I believe it's 10 minutes, I could be wrong. Now I could cancel the ride and charge you a specific amount, very little. I think it's 100 naira, it could change. At the moment it is 100 naira. So I will charge you this amount, but you're not going to pay to me, you're going to pay to the next driver who accepts your booking. So you will owe whichever driver that accepts the next booking that minimal amount called the cancellation charge. So the Uber app has this feature. They pay you whenever you cancel, only after waiting for a specified period of time. The Bolt app doesn't have this. The customer could book and cancel and nothing happens. The Indrive app doesn't have this. The customer could book and cancel even after wasting your time for even 30 minutes and more, nothing happens. And same thing goes with Rida too, nothing happens. So the only app that has this feature is the Uber app. Going to the next, number 4, we're talking about booking radius. Booking radius means the distance from which a customer could get you on the app. This is important because it's very vital not to drive for too long just to pick up a person. You could be losing. Sometimes the pickup distance could even be farther than the destination the person is trying to go. So when it comes to this, on Bolt, you can tweak what the pickup radius could be. It goes from 2 kilometers and goes upward, I believe maybe to 10 kilometers or 15 kilometers. Depends on you, but you can at least set it to how much kilometers you want it to be. And I think this is one of the best, because when it comes to Rida on the Indrive, it is already preset by the company. So you as a person don't even know it. Sometimes you don't get a lot of requests from one position until you move a little bit to another position, then some sort of request keeps pouring in. So clearly there has been like a preset distance or minimal distance that you can get requests from, but it is not clearly stipulated in the Indrive app and also in the Rida app. But also with the Uber app, actually it's not clearly stipulated. Only the Bolt app has a specific stipulation when it comes to the distance from whence a customer can book you. Next, we're talking about app features. When you talk about app features, you look at some of these e-hailing apps, some of them are just straight to the point. There's not much to them. There's no much features and no much drop down menu or sub menu or subheads. They just go straight to the point. Talking about Uber, Uber has perhaps one of the most it has what their app is filled up with headings and subheads and other subheads and sub-subheads. The features in that app is packed. Perhaps any question you might have as a driver, they probably addressed in their app. You just need to find it. That's why when it comes to simplicity, I won't give it to Uber because it's a tad complicated. It will take you time to go through all the features in an Uber app. But that's a good thing. In this case, that's a good thing, right? That's a good thing because any request or any questions or queries or confusions you might have, you may find it on the app. Okay? On the boat app is not, the features on the boat app is not as sophisticated as that of the Uber app. I think I would say it's just moderate, right? It addresses just the simpler things, and most of the time when you click on certain things on the app, it redirects you to the website, and that's actually a bit frustrating, okay? Because you want to stay on the app so that you understand where you've been and where you need to go next and things like, because sometimes when it redirects you to the website, it forces you to sign in the website, so it's a bit complicated that way. But the Uber app is not that way, right? On the app, everything you see keeps you on the app. Most of the things, not everything, most of what you see keeps you on the app. The news, the updates, everything keeps you on the app. The boat, I think, like I said, is more or less moderate. I would say same thing with the Indrive and also the Rida app. The Rida app, actually, I would give it like a second position after Uber when it comes to the features. Yeah, the features are quite packed too, and it's very colorful. Okay, so it allows you, there's an ease to which you can access these features. It's just not as sophisticated as Uber, but it's quite good. Like I said, I'd give it a second position right next after Uber. And then the Indrive is just same as Bolt, I guess. It's just simple. It's really just straight to the point. Apparently, Indrive has one app for both the riders and the drivers. That's how simple the app is. You just need to press a button to switch over to driver mode or passenger mode. The same app. I mean, that could pose its own complication, but I'm just talking about simplicity and app features. So right now, I'm not giving it to Indrive. I'm giving it to Uber, then Rida next. Number 6, let's talk about the Arrive Now button. This is when you've arrived at the location and then you click on the button that says I have arrived, so that the customer will be notified by the app that your driver has arrived. The Uber app doesn't have this button. The Uber app automatically dictates when you have arrived at said location and automatically alerts the customer. This could be a problem. Why? Some people use landmarks as a location for you to come, and then they would then explain exactly where they are, which is probably a couple of meters away from said landmarks. Now, when you come and you don't even get to reach said landmark, the app does not notify the customer. Hence, the app doesn't start to count or to read as though you have actually arrived. So in case there is an extra charge for waiting or there's a cancellation fee, this will not apply to you. So this is actually a problem. The Bolt app has the Arrive Now button. So in case a person doesn't book in the right direction or in the right accurate location, you can at least come to whatever location the person explains to you over the phone and then click on the Arrive Now button. And this would still work in your favor because it will still read, and then if there is an extra charge on the waiting time, you get the money. The Indrive app does not have this feature. Actually, I'm sorry. The Indrive app actually has this feature. So whenever you feel like you are wherever the customer wants you to be, it's not automatic. You have to click on it. But then, quite frankly, it doesn't really matter when it comes to Indrive. The reason being that it doesn't matter if you arrive early. It doesn't matter if you are there for 30 minutes waiting for the driver. There is no extra charge to the customer when they actually waste your time. There is no extra charge. So there is really no benefit to it. But when you talk about the Arrive Now button, it actually has it. Then the Rider app also has the Arrive Now button. But again, just like the Indrive, there is no benefit to it since it could count for 1 hour and still nothing changes. Like in terms of extra money that you may get if the customer wastes your time too long, you get nothing. So it's there, but it's pointless. Next, number 7, let's talk about campaign and bonuses. Now, this is different from loyalty reward that we earlier spoke about. Campaign and bonuses is when these companies come and be like, complete 10 trips and get such and such amount of money. Complete the most trip in your city and stand the chance to win a car or stand the chance to win a ticket to whatever. And, these are the campaigns and the bonuses. This is different from loyalty reward. So when you talk about the Uber app, Uber is always constantly running a campaign of some sort, almost as long as I can remember using the Uber app. There is always a campaign, no matter how little, no matter how big, no matter how attainable or non-attainable, there is always a campaign that you could stand the chance to win, provided you fulfill their prerequisites. That's the Uber app for you. So campaign and bonuses, obviously, they're right there. And then with the Bolt app, not all the time. There have been a couple of months I don't want to say months. I don't want to exaggerate because I don't think I remember it very vividly, but I know for a fact that there has been a couple of times I've been on the Bolt app and there was absolutely no campaign. Or the campaigns are there, but the conditions are very, very strict, very, very stringent, very, very arduous. It's almost hard to attain it, in my opinion. So it's almost like it not being there, but they still put it just to give you a reason to fight for something that you may never get. I'm sorry, I don't mean to cast aspersion on the app. I'm just saying that in my experience, when they give you these campaigns and the bonuses, it's never really that easy. But Uber makes it easy, as far as I know. And then the other app, Indrive, also makes it easy. Also makes it easy for you to get the benefits of these campaigns and these bonuses, because all you may have to do is maybe complete such and such number of trips, which is quite easy to attain. Even in just a day, you don't even have to work more than a day to attain that condition. And then for the Rider app, well, I don't want to have to speak out of turn. It's been a while I've been on that app, but while I was on there was no campaign, there was no bonuses. Perhaps they've started quite recently, but in recent times I have not been on the app. I hope they have. If you have a better information, we would very much love to hear your input. Number 8, let's talk about commission cap or top up. On the Uber app, you have a commission cap of I do not know. This is literally frustrating for me. I'm driving on the Uber app. I can see that the commission payment I'm owing to the company is actually rising, but I don't know where the cap is, like the cutoff is. I don't know what the highest amount is. And the other problem is I cannot even pay in parts. I have to pay everything in a bulk amount. So if I'm owing them up to say 20 something thousand or 30 something, I have to pay them once. This is a burden. This is not a very good feeling when that much amount of money just gets to leave my hand suddenly, right? So it's a very confusing situation when it comes to commissions on the Uber app. When you talk about the Bolt app has a commission cap, and they're very clear about it. They're very, 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 very precise about it, and I like that too. And also they allow you pay in part. You don't have to pay the entire commission. You just don't let the commission meet with that commission cutoff point. So for instance, if the commission is 12,000, make sure you never let it get to 12,000. You could keep paying them maybe 2,000 to make sure it stays in 10,000 for as long as possible, no problem. Bolt will never disturb you for that. And then Indrive, well, they don't do, well, what is called on Indrive is top up. Indrive does not allow you to owe them even a dime. If your balance is minus 1 naira, you're paying that 1 naira before you can go back online. It's a very, very strict procedure. Quite frankly, I've come to love it even much more than owing these companies. Yeah. First of all, is because their commission is just 10% or something, 10 point something percent. And so whenever I go on a trip, I know that 10% of whatever price the person has paid me is just a meager amount compared to what I'm getting. I'm getting 90%. Okay, so it's a meager amount. It's a very small, minimal amount. So it's easier to pay them. I could just deposit, let's say, 5,000 into the app, and it would literally run me through the entire day, and I wouldn't even have to top up anything. So that's why it's very good. I actually like that I don't have to owe them a dime. They simply take their money as I drive. So that's good. The same thing with the Rida app. They take their money as you drive. Okay? And the top-up methods are quite easy. You connect your ATM card, your debit card, or whatever it is you use, and it's just one click and it's done. So that's it about commission caps and top-ups. Number 9, compensations. Compensations, here we're talking about in cases where the customer forbears to pay you what you're owed or what you're due after completing a trip, and then the customer maybe plays some kind of trick on you and decide not to pay you or runs away. You know, some funny stories like that. If you've been driving for some time, I'm sure you may have had events like this wherein customers don't pay you and then they keep on telling you stories, and at some point, of course, you come to realize, oh yeah, this guy this guy got away. Yeah. Okay, so in times like this, some apps like the Uber app helps. They actually help. So when the customer doesn't pay you, they pay you and then put a minus balance on the customer's account. So the customer, if they choose to continue using the app, has to pay to the next driver what is owed. The Bolt app also does this, but not as efficiently as the Uber app. Indrive app doesn't do this. Rida does not do this. So if you're owed anything and you're on Indrive or Rida, it is up to you and the customer. Fight it out if you have to, but make sure you get your money from them. Next, we're talking about early cash out. Early cash out it's like when you've gone on car trips with certain ride sharing apps, then the app would have to be owing you money of which you can withdraw at any point in time. The Uber app has this, the Bolt app has this, but Indrive and Rider does not have this because they do not take card trips. They only do cash. This is also quite good because I believe most drivers always want to get cash. That's the whole point of going to work, right? You don't want people paying with their cards. You just want the cash in your hands. That makes you a lot more happy. So on Uber, you can cash out, but I think you can only cash out once in a week, early cash out once in a week. But apart from that, they often do a general payout every Monday. And every cash out will cost you, I think, a minimal fee of 100 Naira or something like that, just to take out whatever money you have in there if you don't wait till Monday, which is the normal day for cash out, without any fee. I think the Bolt app also does the same, and they also have a day for cashing out without any fee, but anytime before that day you are going to pay a little fee. The fee is quite minimal. You won't have to feel anything. So these two apps has these features, but Rider and Indrive do not have it. Number 11, it's the fare differences. Right now I can tell you categorically Bolt has the highest fare of any ride-sharing platform in the country, as far as I know. Bolt charges the highest. Uber comes next. The Indrive and the Rider is an app where you have to negotiate, so sometimes you get a whole lot more than what the trip is worth. Sometimes you get a lot less. But I made a video, the last video I made was all about how to strike a balance and know that you are actually making good amount of money even though you're using the Indrive or the Rider platform. The number 12 is the network reliability. Easy. When it comes to network, even if it's a 2G network, I promise you, Uber is your best app. Uber does a very, very wonderful job when it comes to very horrible network reliability or connectivity. Yeah. So even though the network is not very strong in your area, the Uber app still functions almost like it's fine. It's perfectly okay. The Bolt app struggles. Indrive struggles even more. Like when it comes to network reliability, I think I'm going to give a 0. Okay, I can't give a 0, but a very huge thumbs down to Indrive. Indrive has a very, very hard, even in a good network, just a little glitch and Indrive is already acting up. That's how bad the app is when it comes to network reliability. The Rider app also, but I think the worst one is the Indrive. The Rider app is not as strong as the Uber app, but the Uber app is number 1. The Bolt app also fumbles, but it's a little bit better when compared to Rider and the Indrive. So these are, let me stop here, okay? We can't keep going on and on and on, but ultimately I said I was going to tell you which app, according to me, is the best one for you to use. And I think the answer is simple. Use the one that has the least amount of commission payment, which is Rider. But then again, another thing you have to consider is how much of customers are on this app, using this app, and are booking with this app. Earlier this year, 2024, you will find that Indrive was still a very new thing in Abuja. In Lagos, it had already taken off. It was doing so well, edging out Bolt and Uber very comfortably too. But Indrive has picked up tremendously in Abuja right now, and it's almost like the one app that you can rely on to always get bookings and orders as long as you're on it, compared to Bolt and Uber. You probably never have an idle time if you choose to work on that app. You will always find somebody who is trying to get somewhere, and there are always tons of requests pouring in. And the best part is the commission. First of all, the app does not allow you to owe them, so you can't be thinking about, oh no, but I'm owing this guy some amount of money. No, no, no. The moment it's minus whatever, you get to pay them before you go back online, and that's a very beautiful thing. The next reason is because they don't take card trips. So you are very sure of cash entering your hand for any trip that you're taking. Nobody's going to be paying with card. That's a problem on Bolt and on Uber. Now, while I said on Bolt pays like is when it comes to fare, they actually take or they actually charge customers the highest. Understand that their commission payment is from 20 to 25%. Well, this takes a huge chunk of the money that you supposedly make. You get. But when you work on Indrive or Rida, you realize that the commission payment is quite small. Almost, it doesn't even feel like you paid anything. In fact, you don't even have the willingness to want to go offline for any of the trip because it's like, it's 10%, man. Take it. You understand? So you tend to make more on these apps. I know this for a fact. I know this from experience. You could try and do your own experiments and find out what it is your deal is. Okay, so all right, that's enough. We are going to talk another time.